Now at 9, the Carthage community meets to plan for the future of its local schools.
With support from the community, a synthetic ice rink is coming to Fort Scott this holiday season. I'm Samantha Walker, and I'll have that story coming up.
And the anniversary of a program helping hundreds of Southeast Kansas grads pursue a higher education.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
The Carthage R9 school district is working on a strategic plan to shape the future of the district's schools, students, and community. This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach, and tonight, community members, teachers, and district officials gathered in the Carthage Intermediate Center Commons to discuss ideas and potential future plans for the district's operations and facilities. Now, that includes departments like food service, maintenance, transportation, safety, and information technology. The goal is to create a 2030 strategic plan for the entire district and gather community feedback on how to manage rising operational costs and ensure facilities stay up to date while still supporting student learning.
Ultimately, I'd love for everyone to be at these meetings. The entire community has an open invitation to show up. We're hoping for parents, grandparents, we're hoping for business owners, we're hoping for teachers, administrators, churches. We want the whole community. We want a cross-section of everyone to help us build the future of our schools because we're all intertwined.
During the meeting, district officials also tried to measure community support for future bond issues and possible tax levy increases to support daily operations and potentially build a new high school auditorium. Well, it's been 5 years since the launch of the Neodesha Promise Scholarship Program, and KOAM's Melissa Alexis introduces us to 2 former recipients to see where they are now.
A big just weight lifted off your shoulder.
Grace Johnson is a recipient of the Promise Scholarship who was a sophomore at Neodesha High School when the scholarship program was first announced.
Knowing that the community is behind you and believes in you, so knowing that they want us to succeed also motivates us to succeed.
Through the help of the scholarship, she's now a nursing student at Pitt State. She says the scholarship opens up doors for students who may otherwise not be able to go to college.
Expanding those opportunities and not having to worry about where am I going to pay for college while I'm in school and being able to focus more on my education, it allows me to thrive in a way that I might not have been able to without the Promise.
Ashley Chandler, a graduate of Neodesha High School, says this opportunity has opened the door for students who may be financially insecure and allows them to follow their dreams and achieve their career goals.
Many students in this area are financially insecure, especially when they leave home for the first time. A lot of the times that's the time when students can fall flat and they get away from home and they run out of money to go to school on, and then what?
The scholarship covers tuition for the students in the Neodesha School District to attend either a university, technical college, or a community college. Since the program launched 5 years ago, the scholarship has helped 148 students.
Nothing but pride. It is absolutely phenomenal. As they continue to grow up in their adult life, it's going to give them a leg up as they continue to learn and grow and become successful adults.
To get accepted to the program, applicants need to have a minimum of a 2.0 GPA. Reporting in Neodesha, Melissa Alexis, KOAM News.
Like Melissa said, students need to maintain at least a 2.5 GPA throughout their post-secondary education to maintain the scholarship. Well, Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty joins us now with a first look at weather.
Well, it turned out to be a pretty nice Tuesday for us today, and we are going to cool down a bit as we go through the next few days. Outside for us today, 64, which is pretty good, well above our average high of 57 degrees. We're going to be closer to that average number, actually below, as we get into tomorrow. It's 50 in Joplin. We have pretty much clear skies out there. We have a few little clouds kind of skirting our northern counties, but you can see temperatures upper 40s to low to mid 50s across the region, but it's going to be kind of cool for us tonight. We do have some clouds rotating through, and there may be a sprinkler or two that pops up, but this is mainly just cloud cover. Any showers are really staying north of Kansas City, and then these are going to whip on by. But what it is going to do is start to draw in a little bit cooler air as we go through the next few days. So we're going to start to cool down a bit over the next couple days. We're going to look at that here in just a bit.
All right, thanks, Doug. The city of Joplin wants to hear from the community about its public transportation programs. The Joplin Area Transportation Study Organization, or JATSO, seeks a 7-day public comment period for transportation and transit projects that are partially funded by federal programs over a 4-year period. Now, up for proposal is one project modification and also adding 2 projects. The public comment period runs through Wednesday, November 27th at noon. For more information, head over to KOAMnewsnow.com. Well, a new activity is coming to the Christmas on the Bricks celebration in Fort Scott, a synthetic ice skating rink. It's been a community effort to create the rink with fundraisers and donations funding the cost of the project. KOAM's Samantha Walker has more on how organizers hope the rink will see more people skate into the city.
We hope to kind of have that hallmark feel with people skating on the synthetic rink and Christmas music playing and lights.
While the Gathering Square Pavilion in Fort Scott may look empty now, it will soon be turned into a winter wonderland. Supported by community efforts, a synthetic ice rink is coming to the downtown this December in time for the annual Christmas on the Bricks event.
I just felt that there was something else that we could do to bring something to Fort Scott that the families here would enjoy, but then also something that would draw people to our community. We have such a unique town, and people came for that event, but thought this would be a great thing that we could add that people could come back following weeks after our event.
To create the skating experience downtown costs an estimated $50,000. The city of Fort Scott is providing the Gathering Square Pavilion and electricity for the rink, but all funds to purchase the rink and skates were collected by the Fort Scott Chamber of Commerce through fundraising and donations from the community.
That's kind of gave us the drive to just keep going and trying to get this achieved. So it's been great to hear everybody, the feedback, and that they're excited about it and knowing that we can bring something to the community that we've never had here before.
Those helping to create the rink believe the seasonal attraction will bring more visitors into Fort Scott.
We also hope that the skating rink will bring people to town to stay longer, to shop, to eat in our restaurants, get gas in our gas stations, stay the night in our hotels, and just enhance the overall holiday experience here in Fort Scott.
And for local business owners in Fort Scott, especially those near the future rink, any boost in business is a help.
The outside of town marketing, it's just not going to necessarily happen for us just because we are small business. So we're really excited for the out of towners to come and hang out and skate and potentially eat at one of our restaurants, especially as it's something that hopefully they'll see and enjoy.
While it's not been set up yet, these are some of the materials that will be used for the synthetic rink. It doesn't use any real ice, which means it can be used for years to come, hopefully creating a new tradition in Fort Scott.
This addition is just going to help really make that Christmas on the Bricks even better. And then of course it's going to be available all throughout the holiday season. So I'm really excited to see what it'll end up looking like. I think it's going to be great overall for everybody in the downtown area for sure, and just in general for Fort Scott.
Reporting in Fort Scott, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
The kickoff for the rink will be the weekend of Christmas on the Bricks in Fort Scott, December 6th. The organizers are finalizing the details on the rink's hours and entry cost. You can find more information about the opening of the rink and Christmas on the Bricks on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Coming up, an assist from the United States.
We're learning more about the Ukrainian attack inside Russia using American weapons. I'm Jennifer Griffin at the Pentagon. I've got the details coming up.
And later, a health alert for another E. coli outbreak, this time linked to organic carrots. Public health officials sound the alarm over a new E. coli outbreak that's linked to organic carrots. It comes after McDonald's announces plans to invest more money in franchises hit by a recent contamination problem. Fox's Jared Halpern has more.
Another E. coli outbreak is sweeping the country, and this time it's linked to organic carrots. California-based Grimway Farms recalling multiple sizes and brands of its whole and baby carrots because of possible contamination. The CDC reports more than 36 people in at least 18 states have become sick. At least one death has been linked to the recall. The agency says the products are no longer in stores but could be in consumer refrigerators or freezers.
It's a good idea to clean that area of your refrigerator really well. 50 bacterium are enough to make you sick, and 100,000 of them would fit on the head of a pin. So it's not stuff you can see, taste, or smell.
Drumway Farm says its food and safety teams are working with suppliers to respond to the outbreak, but public health officials warn the number of states affected could be much higher.
If you have cases where this happens, then the lawsuits become a lot more potentially valuable, and the settlements become larger.
It comes after an E. coli outbreak linked to onions on McDonald's Quarter Pounders left more than 100 people sick. The fast food chain now plans to shell out $100 million to help the hardest hit franchises and drive customers back to its restaurants.
They got to spend the money on quality. They got to spend some money on advertisement and commercials and informing consumers.
The CDC says children younger than 5, the elderly, and people with weakened immune systems are at increased risk for infection from E. coli. In Washington, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
A CT scan for lung cancer detection can make a life-saving difference. And today, a doctor at Freeman's Lung Institute in Joplin demonstrated the potential of the diagnostic tool. He stresses that the scans are especially important for smokers and might be covered by insurance.
This whole area, lung cancer is extremely prevalent. That's because of the rate of cigarette smoking. We have an extremely high rate of cigarette smoking, largely due to the fact that the state of Missouri is 51st of the United States states and territories in the tax they put on cigarettes.
Well, Dr. Slocum says these scans are important for both current smokers and former smokers. Well, Doug is next with a complete look at your forecast. And later, 3 members of the Fairland Owl softball team sign with Fort Scott Community College. John Dales has that story and more in sports.
Of Connect to Culture and Spiva Center for the Arts.
Well, it turned out to be a nice Tuesday for us today. A little bit cooler for afternoon highs, but still well into the 60s. We are going to cut that by about 10 degrees for us tomorrow, so we're going to start to inch downward over the next couple days. Great shot, Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex Tower Cam. You can see the wind picking up. That's going to be an issue as we go through the next couple days. All right, so we got rain yesterday, none today. But we're doing great for the month. Some areas have picked up 10, 12, 14 inches. At the airport in Joplin, about 7 for the month. Remember, in October, September, we really didn't get much of any rain. 48 in Lamar, 50 in Neosho, 55 in Grove. Chanute sitting at 49. Outside sitting at 50 degrees. Northerly winds at about 15. These are going to pick up as we go through the next couple days. So by tomorrow, we're going to have winds gusting 25, 30, maybe 35 at times, and staying fairly breezy again as we go into Thursday. Backing down just a bit, but we're still going to have winds gusting near 20 miles per hour. Some clouds pushing through the northern half of the region. A little bit of rain showing up. That's not reaching the ground, but we have this back little wave which is working through, and with it, it's given us a few clouds that we are going to see during the overnight hours for us tonight. Besides that, we look pretty good. But what this is going to do is it's ushering in some cooler air from Canada. That's why we're going to start to cool down a bit as we go through the next couple days. Due to this storm system on the backside, northwest flow ushers in that cooler air from Canada. But we want to watch this. We've seen this twice in our pattern over the past month. That means this storm system will return 2, 3, 4 times during the winter, and that's going to give us big Arctic blasts, those big cold snaps we get during the winter months. Heading into the weekend looking pretty good, and then we start to get storm systems loading out toward the west. One shooting by on Monday, another one driving in on Wednesday and Thursday, which is Thanksgiving. Of course, Wednesday is a big travel day, so we'll keep our eyes on that as we go through the next week or so. All right, temperatures starting into the upper 30s, back into lower 50s by noon. And then we'll hold most of you 53, 54, 55 degrees for an afternoon high. A little bit colder by Thursday morning, temperatures near freezing. Once we go through the day, sunny skies once again, but high temps only near 50 by Thursday afternoon. Then Thursday night, even colder. We drop back upper 20s for overnight lows, so it gets kind of cold over the next couple days. Our average high is 57 degrees for this time of the year. So still just a little bit below where we should be. 53 tomorrow. Let's go 50 Thursday, 52 Friday. Plenty of sunshine. Next several days, we get back into the 60s as we head into the weekend, and then those chances for rain and chilly for next week.
All right. Yeah, definitely a little bit chillier. Cold nights.
Yeah, it's getting down there.
All right.
Pushing toward
I
winter.
had a battle with my son this morning. No more shorts in the morning to school.
I wore shorts to work.
Doug. Got to be yeah. All right. No more shorts, kids. All right, well, coming up, targeting big food and big pharma.
President-elect Trump's nomination for the head of Health and Human Services has vowed to make America healthy again. We're going to talk about who might get in the way of that after this break.
Professional people.
It's on sale now.
President-elect Trump's pick to head the nation's top health agency is pledging to make America healthy again. RFK Jr. targets big food and big pharma, and he's ready for the pushback. Fox Business correspondent Kelly Sabiri is inside a grocery store in Oak Park, Illinois, with the latest.
As head of Health and Human Services, Kennedy will oversee the Food and Drug Administration, which regulates about 78% of our nation's food supply. The rest, which includes meat, eggs, and poultry, is regulated by the Department of Agriculture, and that's going to be important in just a moment. I caught up with Marian Nessel, who was a senior advisor in the Department of Health and Human Services from 86 to 88, and she says she's excited about this shift to bipartisan support for healthy food. What was once just an issue on the left is now an issue for everyone's children. Now, she talks about how this is going to be a courageous undertaking because Kennedy will have to go up against big pharma, big ag, and the big food industries to make these changes in our country. And she gave me an example of how this works. Take a listen.
I was told on my first day on the job that report would never say anything about eating less meat, because if it did, the Department of Agriculture, under pressure from the meat industry, would prevent the report from coming out. So the idea that the food industry influences American food policy is an absolute given.
Kennedy has mentioned Fruit Loops in his concerns, so we reached out to Kellogg's, the maker of many of our favorite cereals, about RFK Jr.'s nomination to this position. The company responded, saying, quote, "We have always worked effectively with policymakers across the political spectrum, and that will continue to be the case." In 1990, the FDA banned red dye number 3 in cosmetics after testing on animals linked it to cancer. 34 years after vowing to extend that ban to food, nothing has changed. In Oak Park, Illinois, Kelly Saberi, Fox Business.
Well, coming up, a world of flavor is brewing at Pitt State University as an international tea tasting event brings in teas from different countries. And that story next.
Unbreakable spirit, you roam on paths called impossible.
Committed to community service.
PSU is joining universities across the country to celebrate International Education Week, and this annual celebration promotes programs that prepare Americans for a global environment while attracting future leaders from around the world to study, learn, and exchange experiences. Today, students of all nationalities found common ground with a tea tasting event on the campus oval.
I love the tea and I am trying so many different kind of Asian teas which are amazing, and I think we can learn a lot of new cultures, well, new culture for me or not, through tea.
Well, nearly 300 international students are enrolled at Pitt State, representing 50 countries. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. One Southwest Missouri county had thousands of votes left uncounted after the election. We see where they stand now. Plus, critics argue President Biden's decision to allow Ukraine to use U.S. missiles to strike targets inside Russia has heightened fears of a NATO-Russia conflict.
Big Bang Theory, tonight at 10:30.
0277 to discuss your personalized care plan today.
You're watching the 4 states' most watched news.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. A big change in November vote tallies in one Southwest Missouri county. Christian County's final vote total submitted to the Secretary of State office to be certified was nearly 10,000 more than previously reported. Chris Bryant has why the discrepancy happened and what it means for one statewide race.
For the November election, Christian County had 68,453 registered voters.
We was at 75% even, 75.00% for this election.
That is 51,342 who voted.
We knew we'd be busy, but we just had high volumes just coming through the doors.
In the late hours of Election Day, the clerk decided to postpone the count of ballots of 3 machines in the clerk's office until the next morning. Those ballots were part of the total from the day of early voting, mail-in ballots, military, and provisional ballots. The clerk says that the decision was made with the agreement of the Republican and Democrat Party representatives who were at the county clerk's office that night.
We did not report those results because we didn't expect a high turnout in the office, and we were running out of machines. We just did not have another machine to feed those provisionals and those military in, so we had to keep those machines open to be able to feed them to be counted.
When those numbers were finalized, the vote margin for Amendment 2 was around 400 total votes. But by this morning, as other counties certified their results, that difference was up to 747 votes, a margin of 0.02%.
We're glad that we were able to get this done on Election Day. We're obviously going to wait till every last vote is counted, but these votes that are coming in late are almost universally breaking towards us.
Secretary of State Jay Ashcroft says there are checks and balances with elections.
Unfortunately, this is an election year where people are going to understand why we double check and triple check and frankly, why it's not just the local election authority that goes back over the numbers, but why the Secretary of State goes back over and ensures things were done correctly.
Secretary Ashcroft says he would have liked to see Christian County give those results on election night.
Those numbers should have been reported on election night. They could have been reported on election night.
So it was just our decision to keep those 3 machines up and feed in our military and our provisional ballots in it, and then report everything when we done our final certification with our certification team come in and certified everything.
But I think that here's the most important thing. The process caught it. The process as a whole worked.
While there will be questions about the process in Christian County,
I understand, and I knew I would get, people would be upset or not like the choice I made, but that's the choice I had to do.
Well, final county results in Missouri were to be certified and to the Secretary of State office by today. Well, the future of President-elect Donald Trump's sentencing is still up in the air. Earlier this year, Trump was found guilty on 34 felony counts. However, decision on his sentencing continues to be pushed back by the courts, and Trump's team is looking to get it dismissed altogether. His lawyers consider today's delay a victory. However, the court's next steps could set a precedent for years to come. Ukraine is taking the fight to the Russians using American weapons. But will it bring us closer to World War III? Fox News Chief National Security Correspondent Jennifer Griffin has more from the Pentagon.
It's been exactly 1,000 days since Russia invaded Ukraine, and now the Ukrainians are taking the fight deeper into Russian territory. A senior U.S. official confirms that overnight, Ukraine struck military targets inside Russia for the first time using American-made long-range missiles. It came just 2 days after we learned President Biden lifted restrictions on Ukraine's use of those missiles.
Of course, it is a signal that they want to escalate, and it is impossible to use these high-tech missiles without the Americans. Putin has said this many times.
The pre-dawn attack hit a military facility in the Bryansk region just north of Kursk, where 11,000 North Korean troops are deployed in a counteroffensive against Ukrainian forces inside Russia. U.S. officials tell Fox it was Putin's decision to expand the war by bringing in North Korea that led to President Biden's authorization for the long-range strikes.
Our record is one of holding Putin accountable and one of holding Russia accountable, and you just have to look
at the results on the battlefield.
Following the missile strike, Putin lowered the Kremlin's threshold for using nuclear weapons in response to a conventional attack. But some lawmakers on Capitol Hill say there's little chance that that will actually happen.
Use of nuclear weapons would be abhorrent. Not even Putin has the bad judgment to cross that line. And I think he's going to do a lot of breast beating and drum rolling.
Meanwhile, some NATO allies near Russia, including Sweden and Finland, are warning their residents to prepare for the possibility of war. At the Pentagon, Jennifer Griffin, Fox News.
Well, Doug is next with a complete look at your weather forecast and later your holiday travel forecast.
If you're planning to travel for Thanksgiving, you're not alone. I'm Rebecca Castor at Washington's National Airport with a look at what's shaping up to be a record-breaking holiday travel week.
Family gatherings and
Connect to Culture and Spiva Center for the Arts.
Well, of course, it turned out to be a great Tuesday for us today. Plenty of sunshine, temperatures fantastic. Mainly low to mid 60s across the region, but it is going to cool down just a bit. We have a weak little wave that is pushing through. That's why the winds are starting to pick up outside, and that's going to be the case as we go through the next couple days, and that's going to usher in a little bit cooler air across the region. Temperatures right now, they're not bad. Anywhere from mid to upper 40s into the mid 50s once you get in our southern counties. 7th and Rangeline sitting at 50 degrees. But the winds, we're going to have them gusting 30, maybe 35 at times as we go through the daytime hours for us tomorrow. They come down a little bit on Thursday, but still winds gusting 20 upwards to 25 by the time Thursday afternoon rolls around. Few little clouds kind of shooting through the four-state area. Any of this rain really not reaching the ground. Any showers are staying mainly north of Kansas City. This little bank of clouds, another little, it's a weak wave that is going to usher in that cooler air mass that is coming down from Canada. Look at our upper level winds right out of Canada. So this wave is going to rotate through. So our temperatures are going to slowly decline as we go through the next few days. Let's go down the road. We're looking upstairs in the atmosphere. This system rotating by, keeping us cool the next few days. Looks good into the weekend. We start to warm things back up. Then as we go into next week, we have a few storm systems coming out. One pushing by on Monday, but a bigger system trying to work in by next Wednesday and also on Thanksgiving. May have some wintry weather across Central Plains, and then cooler air filters in behind it. So a lot of changes once again as we get into next week. This week, pretty calm overall, just cooling down a bit. 39 Stockton by morning, 36 in Miami, Chanute, 39 degrees. We'll go into lower 50s by noon. I think most of us 53, 54, 55 degrees for afternoon highs. Plenty of sunshine. Tomorrow night, a little bit colder. 32, 33 degrees for overnight lows. Thursday afternoon, sunny skies, a little cooler, high temps right around 50 degrees. Thursday night, we drop into the 20s, upper 20s for overnight lows. So it gets colder over the next few nights, but still pretty close to where we should be for this time of the year. All right, 44 by 9, 53 by 1, 50 by 5 p.m. Let's go toward the weekend. As we get into Friday, temperatures still right around 50, but as we go into the weekend, a lot of clouds. We push 60 on Saturday, and we should get into the 60s by the time Sunday afternoon rolls around. 53 tomorrow, let's go 50 on Thursday, 52 Friday, 62 though on Sunday. Rain chances Monday, better chances next Wednesday and Thursday.
So it's in the lower 40s when kids are getting ready to go to school in the morning.
Yeah.
It's not short weather.
No.
In fact, I would even say you need a jacket or, a coat. That's the mom in me.
You go for it, Tanya. You make sure your kids bundle up.
Yes, and stop going on walks in your shorts in the evening
I
now.
know.
It's too cold for that. All right, thanks, Doug. Well, coming up in sports, the MIAA releases its 2024 all-conference football teams, plus 3 members of the Fairland Owls softball team signed with Fort Scott Community College. John Dales has those stories and more up next.
We'll have a few what you can. Together we can help area food pantries help even more.
Fort Scott Community College picks up 3 softball commits from Northeast Oklahoma who have helped turn Fairland into a perennial powerhouse in the Lucky 7 Conference. 3 Fairland softball players signed this afternoon with Fort Scott Community College. Aubrey Kinsey, McKenna Lawson, and Grayson Riggs have helped lead the Owls to 4 district championships and 2 state tournament appearances in their time at Fairland. Now all 3 of them are ready to make an impact with the Greyhounds.
I just really liked it there. I liked the community and I really liked the coach, and it just felt like it could be home. Their field is really nice. They have a really nice workout room. It's just nice there.
It seems like it's an easy transition from here going there because I know people and then I'm going with my friends, so it's just easy. It's really nice. We've played together our whole lives, so to just keep on playing is fun.
Their coaches, they have a really nice coach, and I just like the facility itself, and I'm also going with 2 of my best friends. We've all talked about it before, but we all just started committing one at a time, and I just thought it would be a great idea to go with my friends.
The MIAA releases its all-conference awards for football this afternoon. Central Oklahoma's Adam Dorrell is the Coach of the Year after leading the Broncos to an outright MIAA championship. Here's a look at the local honorees featured in the first-team All-MIAA. Will Huggins and Landon Bluebaugh both represent Pitt State on the offensive side of the ball. 3 more PSU players are first-team All-Conference on defense. Cole Sample, Jordan Rogers, as well as Jack Barkley. He's the only Gorilla to be unanimously voted to the first team. Then 5 Pitt State players are named to the second-team All-MIAA. Jack Roberts, Drew Daniels, Malik Berry, Alex Gaskell, and Jalen Fuchsa. Third team, Pitt State running back Noah Hernandez, as well as a couple Lions. Deontay Campbell, a tight end, and offensive lineman Kenny Furman. Both of them represent Missouri Southern. We've got a full list, which includes honorable mentions from both teams, on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com/sports. Webb City Lady Cardinals tonight hosting a basketball jamboree. Their first matchup is against Neosho. How about this? Addie Burns assists Whitley Keith. She drains the 3 for Webb. We skip to the next contest, this one against Carl Junction, and the Lady Bulldogs get the steal here. Destiny Berge in transition, can't finish the layup, but Desi Williams grabs the board, puts it back up and in. Next quarter, no-look pass gets taken away by Kira Long. She goes behind her back, then through her legs, tops it off with the score there. Third up, Webb City against Aurora. Was the district champion last year. Lady Hounds Kaylee Cole on the fast break knocks it in. Bucket is good, plus the foul. Next quarter, here's Kira Long again. She drains the 3-pointer, and that just about wraps up this jamboree. High school basketball season in the 4 states in Missouri gets started next Monday. Over to college basketball, the Pittsburgh State men fall 89-71 to 5th-ranked Washburn tonight. Despite the Ichabods being in the MIAA, this one actually does not count as a conference game. The Gorillas dropped to 2-3. Their next opponent it's a home opener a week from tomorrow. I think a lot of the focus right now on PSU's campus, though, is the football team in the playoffs. This Saturday, their first-round game is against Harding, who's the defending national champion.
I do have a question, though, with the Ichabods, their game being a non-conference game. Does that mean they're going to play them again in the regular season?
They will play them again, yes. They would have anyways, but I honestly don't have the answer as to why this wasn't a conference game.
Interesting. All right, thanks, John. We're back with more news after this. The holiday travel rush is almost here, and officials are forecasting it'll be the busiest yet. Fox News correspondent Rebecca Castor has more on the Thanksgiving travel outlook.
Thanksgiving travelers are expected to set a record next week. AAA says nearly 80 million people will hit the roads, board cruises, and catch flights. 1.7 million more than last year.
Get there early, plan ahead, because there's a lot of delays, there's a lot of challenges in travel.
Get organized now. You still have, almost a week to go? So just get organized and pack your patience.
TSA projects its busiest days will be Tuesday and Wednesday before Thanksgiving and the following Sunday as people race to return home.
I would expect that if you're a standard passenger, not pre-check, you're going to wait 30 minutes or less. That's pretty standard. It's been like that for the entire year. Pre-check passengers, 10 minutes or less.
Those traveling by plane are paying more this year. The travel booking app Hopper says flight prices are up 9% from last year. Gas is cheaper, though, compared to 2023, and market analysts say the national average could drop below $3 a gallon by Thanksgiving Day.
The stability in price has been great for the economy. It's been great for everybody, and hopefully it'll continue.
Winter storms could cause headaches for travelers this week, but it's too early for forecasters to say whether they'll continue to cause disruptions during those peak travel days. From Reagan National Airport in Arlington, Virginia, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
Well, Cameron Diaz is back in action, ending her acting retirement with a new Netflix spy comedy. We take a look in Hollywood Nation. Cameron Diaz returns to acting. Pamela Anderson heads back to the big screen and more. Fox's Ashley Dvorkin has all the latest in the Hollywood Nation.
Okay, you know that I love our life.
What?
Diaz is back in action. Anderson plans her next act and turn her eyes an action adventure in the Hollywood Nation. Sophie Turner may be stepping into the role of a popular video game heroine. According to Deadline, the Game of Thrones star is in talks to play Lara Croft in Phoebe Waller-Bridge's live-action Tomb Raider series for Prime Video. Angelina Jolie and Alicia Vikander previously played the world-famous archaeologist and adventurer on the big screen.
The Las Vegas showgirl.
Pamela Anderson faces an uncertain future in today's First Looks. She stars in the Las Vegas set drama The Last Showgirl, playing a veteran dancer who must plan for the future when her show ends after a 30-year run. The film opens in theaters nationwide January 10th.
I want to prove I can make it on my own.
British singer Robbie Williams transforms into a monkey to tell his life story in Better Man. The biopic explores the rise, fall, and resurrection of the pop superstar. The film starts playing in select theaters December 25th, followed by a wide release January 17th.
Mom, she's fine. It's not that bad.
Cameron Diaz has ended her 10-year acting retirement with the upcoming film Back in Action. The teaser trailer features Diaz reuniting with her Annie co-star Jamie Foxx, playing a married couple and former secret agents who are forced back into the world of espionage when their cover is blown. The spy comedy debuts on Netflix January 17th. In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
That's our time for tonight. Thanks for joining us. We're going to leave you with video of a mountain lion cub playing with a cowbell at the Oakland Zoo. Have a great night and an even better tomorrow.